Excellent. So hopefully nothing bad happens. I have so much tabs. Oh, what I could probably do to... They're all suspended, to be honest. So, yeah. All right. So let's open up Tune Boom Harmony. By the way, guys, we're trying to work out. I think what has happened is that Toon Boom. I think we mentioned it in the group. Toon Boom is actually giving like for those of you who are at home and you have your laptops and such,
licenses.
they're giving away licenses for like 30 days, so that way we can actually get our stuff done. If we have to do stuff in Toon Boom and we can't make it to school,
But they do have some requirements. I think something that we have to do on our part to make sure that you can get it.
we're gonna have to collect some information from you. So,
But not from them, it's from um, technical staff and stuff.
okay.
Yeah, well,
Anne Marie called me yesterday and asked me that the information that Toon Boom is asking for is things like location and such from each where the licenses are going. So I need
yeah.
to get clarity on that before I send out any messages to you guys.
All right.
But
Give
you
me
still
a
see my
sec.
screen? I'm like not hearing
Yes.
nobody. Okay,
Yeah, I
cool.
can see the screen.
Okay, thank you, Sam. Where is that ferret? Alright, so Leafy, this is the version that we get, the default one. We have, oh wait, no, this is not the one before. This is the one that we had done in class, and there's a video as to how I created this. On YouTube, I shall post the link, just in case. I'll throw it in the WhatsApp group, and to anybody who YouTube.com Leafy using for free. Let's see if I have it. My videos. Right, here we go. So just in case you didn't get it before, it's unlisted. So you won't see it on my channel if you look for it, but if you have the link. So I'm gonna just copy that link. I put it both in Hangouts and in the WhatsApp groups, and some of you aren't in the same WhatsApp group. So what I'll do is throw it also in WhatsApp. So drum. Bam. Some of you are kind of sparsed out, so I kind of have to send it to you guys on an individual basis. Right. Oh, which means I'm gonna have to send them the link as well. So Hangouts. Where are we? Here we are. Oops, call already full. Well, wait, what? Hangouts has a call limit? What? This is new. Is there a limit on Hangouts? Holy phone. Bandwidth. Done. Settings. People have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 is a limit. It's hard to find good service around here.
No kidding.
Call limit. Hangouts. Alright, so it says Hangouts keeps you connected with coworkers. You can chat to 150 people on a variety of devices or to hold call with up to 25 participants in your organization. You shouldn't have a limit. Are there 10 people here? What to do? What to do? Trial and error. What can I say? We're trying a thing with the Google Hangouts. Oof. Alright, I think that's everybody. T, could you do some troubleshooting for me and find out what's the best possible solution? In the meantime, since we're recording. So like I said, this was done on YouTube. I sent the link to everybody who's on the thing. So in the chat, I'll also send this, just in case nobody else can see. Wait, that's the wrong one. The YouTube link is actually this one. So I kind of went through how to create this. Right, so that's the link. It's in the group, it's in WhatsApp, it's in everything. So we want to go back through the whole rigging problem. Right, so we did that. So I'm gonna get the one that we did Leafy before we did all this stuff. So I'll just have to extract that folder first of all. Because what might happen is that sometimes when you've downloaded the file, you think that, hey, I can simply, you know, Leafy, right. You might think you should just double click on this and open Leafy like this and double click on it and see everything. But the truth is you have to extract the folder first. Alright, so I'm gonna extract. It's simply, if you're using Microsoft Word, it should already come with an option for you to just extract all. And you can just extract. It doesn't have to use like things like WinZip, 7-zip, anything. By default, your computer should have an extractor / a compressor. Right, so we have Leafy here as an exercise. I'm going to double click on Leafy.x stage. It's going to open one more harmony because apparently my machine can handle a whole bunch of them being open at the same time. Are we still here?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, cool. Alright, so this is the Leafy we have. Leafy is still here, and then there's some different colored, well, for the face, there are different aspects of it. You have the deformation for like the thigh. You have things like this, the foot. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, right, and we pick on the different parts, right, what we should see is that there's a deformation inside here already. So this is Leafy that was rigged already. This is the one that's in the same folder, and if you don't have that folder, I'm gonna throw that in there as well. So rigs, inside here we have the Leafy exercise rig. So I'll share that, get share a link. Alright, so anybody with this can view and download, I guess. Get share a link. And I'll just copy that from get shareable link. I said get shareable link. Yes. Right, so that's there. Back into Hangouts again. Paste that just in case. Yeah. Didn't get it before. That's the Leafy thing that has been rigged already. So let's just check out the rig to make sure everything is working like it's supposed to. Maybe there's some things we need to tweak. Maybe. Let's see what my brother did. So we have a thigh here as well. Another thigh. And this thigh doesn't quite have that whole deformation setup. One has the whole noodly look and one doesn't, which means you might actually have to re-rig this thing. So let's actually do that. So now you have two ways of doing Leafy here. So what I'll do is, since we have this, what we have so far, I'm going to start over because I know some people are having issues with the rig or rigging it in itself. So let's say we had Leafy by itself, right? What I'm going to do is remove all the deformations, right? Just so we can have everything set up. So this is what we have so far. Thigh, leg, foot. The arm. What's the arm do? The arm is just an arm. The color card essentially is the color that you're seeing behind here. If you want to disable the color, you just press D to disable it or A to re-enable it. Right, so color card doesn't really matter so much. All right, so let's say you want Leafy's arm, which is attached to his face. You want his arm to have a deformation. You can set it up to be all noodle-like. What we'll do is the rigging button. So if I'm going too fast, please stop me. I have a tendency to do that. So don't feel afraid to say, sir, I'm lost, confused. So far, all I've done is I've taken off the deformation that was on the thigh. So now everything should be working as that. Ready? All right, so first things first, we're going to deal with one arm. I'll hit the rigging tool, and that allows me to start setting up my deformation. So I'll click here and drag slightly. Right, that's one. And then I'll click here at the end and drag backwards. So that now allows me to set up a very almost like a noodly looking arm. Same thing here, you hit the root, which will be here. I'm gonna go forward. Let me do that again. Click somewhere in the center there, just kind of offset it a bit. Click here, do the same thing, come back. Right, and that creates deformation arm 1, deformation arm. That clear so far? Now just to make sure that this thing works, you have to go into your transform options over here on the left side, and I'm going to take off my animate button because I don't want to set any keyframes. I'm just testing it out. So one is I can kind of bend this. I can even move this as far as I want. Right, and I know it works. I'm just going to undo, and that's cool. Same thing for this arm. Right, be careful to select the deformation for the arm. 1, 2, and just bend that. And this is very important that you choose not the arm, but the deformation for the arm. So what I'll have to do now is just right click, and I'll just click on this, click on this yellow button here. I'll just call this def arm 1, close, and here def arm 2. Likewise, I'm going to rename this arm 2. Right, and it's good to have a like little naming convention for yourself so you can know which one's on the left, which one's on the right. So if I say def 1, I'm almost always thinking that 1 is going to be over here and 2 is going to be over here. Same thing with, for example, if I have, I know a thigh, that would be my thigh 2. So I'll just hit thigh 2, and over here thigh 1, leg 2, and leg 1, foot. Oh, so here's the problem now. I think this is the problem that has been affecting a lot of people. So I have foot here, right? And this foot is foot 2, or it's supposed to be foot 2. And this works fine. Thigh, leg 1, foot 1. Let's try doing some stuff. I thought I saw a mistake a while, but it looks like I was kind of mistaken. Alright, so far that's Leafy. If I'm not mistaken, everything should be okay thus far for the rig. Normally we would use pegs, and pegs actually allow us to control different sections at different points, but I don't think the pegs will be so necessary for this simple character. Alright, so for example, that's face, and then we have thigh and legs, and you notice that the thigh and legs are separate. That's because you want to be able to control the face and then move the legs. So if the character was to, for example, do something like let's do a little bounce up, bounce down with the legs and the other parts. So we have Leafy start off like this, Right, and then face is here. I'm gonna control the whole face using a peg. I press Control P, which sets my peg automatically. And if yours doesn't set automatically, chances are sometimes it'll ask you to put on something called Display All, which is also okay. So I have this. So I'm going to work with the face first, and then afterwards work with the rest of the body. So I'm going to turn on my Animate button, right? Set my keyframe, right? F6 is my shortcut, and I want the character to do something like up a little bit down first, right? And then come down, right? It's going to be like this. I want to go to this. And last, I'll just copy this to make sure it's in the same exact place as we started. So if we want to loop it, right? So I have that. Just to start off. Now let's say that's working for you, but you know, legs don't exactly move like this. So you want stuff for like the legs as well. I'll just play with it a bit. One, just know that the legs are supposed to be anchored here all the time. Now we just set up our keyframes. Like so. So first position for all thigh, legs, and foot. Gonna set my keyframe F6 here as well. I know it's going to go up some more. Let's say I want to move this up a bit and rotate this a bit. So we have that. See that? Same thing here as well for this foot, thigh, and leg. Hold shift if you want to keep it on one particular axis. And then here for the foot itself, foot selected, you're rotating it. Now if, for example, if you have your animate button on, it will automatically keyframe the character for you. So that goes up like this. Then the character is going to drop down. So you almost want now one, this to come back to its original position almost immediately. So we're going to flatten these feet. So I'll just copy these keyframes, because guess what? They carry us back to original position, right? But then you want, when your character reaches here, right? And what I'll do, one more thing I'll do, I'm gonna add a drawing layer for the ground. So I can kind of tell where my foot's supposed to stay. I'll just use a line to do that. And I'll just lock that layer so it doesn't move. Cool. Are you following so far? Hello? Y'all there? It's like
Yeah, I'm
Sam's
still
there.
here.
Alright, cool. Nice. But you're getting it so far. So what we're just doing is just setting up the keyframes. We want the feet to move first, right? So what I'll do, face, and
You,
yes,
you said something about F6 to create the frames, but you said that the animate button automatically creates those frames.
yeah. So if you press F6 by default, you can drop in your own keyframes. However, if you also have the anim button, anytime you move something, the keyframe will be dropped in automatically.
Oh, so we don't have, as long as we have the anim button, we don't have to press
No.
F6.
But what I did is, because I know for the first position, I want to maintain that first position and there's no keyframes there. Because I know I'm not going to move anything at all, I'm just going to press F6 so I can keep that position.
Oh,
So it's like I'm
oh,
setting the first position by dropping in the keyframes automatically first.
alright.
Yeah. Alright, so we start off that. Then it drops. And then we kind of want the legs to not look like this. We want them to kind of, yeah, for lack of a better thing to do, I'm just going to show you how I want them to look. I'm just going to draw them. Mock up, probably. Right? So I want my legs to look like this when I'm done. Right? So something like this when I'm done. Right? Given his height, be kind of something like this. If you get what I'm trying to do. So for this keyframe, that's what I want. But here's the thing. I have to go based on my thigh. So I'm going to hide my face. Right? And when you hide your face, it's going to hide your keyframes as well. So when you hide stuff, just be mindful that you're actually hiding the keyframes that are right here because of that. I actually want to hide my face, so that's what I want to do. Right, but for the thigh, because at the end of the day, my face is here. What I'm gonna do is set my thigh here to be down here and also be rotated like so. And guess what? My leg needs to be rotated as such. So because I know my legs are much shorter than I intended, I'm gonna have to just pull some stuff down. Right, so here, back to here, here this down. So it should do something like this, but notice it's kind of weird. So I might have to
Wobbly.
go, huh?
I know. No, I was saying it looks kind of wobbly.
Yeah, because it's not sticking to the foot, to the ground. So in this case, I might actually have to go in on a frame by frame level just to get those things to be proper. So what I'll do for the first leg, just plant it there. So it's supposed to slide now. So this is on a frame by frame level. I'm using my arrow keys to move it up and down. Right? So that's supposed to stay planted on the ground. So you notice that here, yeah, I'm putting a little more effort in it. So it looks like this. Right? Once that is done, I'm going to be doing something similar with my other legs. And yes, I do kind of have to go in there manually. So I'll position this down here, much like the first one. Same thing with my leg. My leg is there. With before my thigh. Rotate that thigh in that direction. And my leg in this direction. My
Don't
foot.
forget to put your foot on the line.
Indeed. Right? And if it's not low enough, you take your foot and you plant it down. Like so. Then you have to go back in there. and just line up everything. Just make sure your arrow keys are on the line. Well, make sure your cursor is inside this window, because that's how you get the arrow keys to start moving. And the same thing again, come back over here. Use my arrow keys to just put stuff up and down. I'm not moving anything left and right, just up and down. So we have that kind of a split there. Right, and that looks like it works. Right, now that that's planted, I can turn my face back on, and guess what? Let's hide this mock-up of a leg, and I need to bring the face down more. This keyframe here needs to come down some more, because that's where that is. See? Now the question is, I can't really see my legs beneath all of this. So what I can do, just for a temporary bit of time, because I know my face is supposed to be attached to this, what I'll do, and it can help you in some cases, you can just type in transparency, or are the most popular ones. I'm looking for a nope favorite. Transparency, here we go. Transparency. This little node here allows you to actually cause, and I'm holding Alt while it's close by. If you hold Alt, it's going to snap to that node. So then what happens here, camera view, is that your leaf now becomes transparent. Right, so if you didn't have that on, if I disable it, you get a fully done leaf, but now it's, I can see through the legs. That allows me to kind of position my Leafy rig, his head. So for example, his face is too high, and I want to just make sure that that sticks on properly and is not going too far in. Same thing for here, this needs to come down some more, because that would look kind of weird. Right, and guess what, this needs to come back up here. And the cool part is that because I've copied all these frames right here, right, and it's good to kind of set your keyframes so that everybody gets set one time. Copy all these and just paste them in here. Control V. So this drops back up. This Leafy can be propped up like so. And if you're not even sure exactly where that is, and you know the original position was here, copy that and just paste that in place. So now you have that. But this whole foot thing is crazy. So we need to fix that. So that foot thing, we need to fix that foot thing. So we're gonna play with the thigh and bring that up again. Right, planting that. Same thing for here. Planting that. Remember my transform options are on. Same thing here. Plant that because everything is on that toe ball there. Right. And he comes back down very gently right here at 20. Paste. Right, so if anything is happening too fast, you can look in the face keyframe like so. Right, and if it's too far in. So for example here, Leafy's head needs to go up some more. And this is if you're going keyframe by keyframe. There's actually ways you can actually set it up so that you're not doing too much work by changing or adjusting what we call the curves. Am I losing anybody? I feel like I should be losing some people by now.
No. I'm following along fine.
Okay. Anybody else lost? So here, just tweaking that. Oops, I'm setting keyframes for the wrong keyframe. So that's that. This is here. So here's one. This needs to be moved up. Alright, there we go. But we're not quite done yet because these arms haven't done anything yet. Right, so if you have your body going down, you kind of want to follow through with your arms. So we start off here. So we're going to play with these arms now. Right? So your tools are on. Just set up your, remember I said deformations that are being manipulated. So let's check those. Def arms. Cool. No keyframes yet. So by default, we're going to set our first keyframe here and our first keyframe here for those two arms. So remember the initial position you're setting up so it maintains that pose. So setting a keyframe is just maintaining the pose. And because it's going up some more, you kind of want to just, this arm just kind of follow through. Like so, then you have something like this. And you could even carry on some more like so. Right? With deformations, you don't really have a limit as to how far your things go. So that little thing there. See that little curve. And then it's coming down. So the next pose, for me, it's going to be kind of straight like this. It's coming down. Like so. Here it's still coming down. And the cool thing is that you can actually turn on, you should be able to turn on these things. For example, your arm, where it was before, where it's going, right? So you could say, okay, let me pull this up here like so. Bend that like so. Remember that arc? You want this arm to stretch too far. Just bending that pose there. Let's take off these. See how that looks. And that looks too constant to me. So I might take that up some more and bend it to give more dramatic pull. When it hits the ground, what happens? Hits terminal velocity and snaps. So that pose, good pose. Because the next position is going to be more like this. And you can tell me if you think this is right or wrong. I want to see what you're getting from this. Remember the principles of animation? It's kind of like the wave principle again, right? If something's going to make a sudden change in direction, you kind of want to catch that. Bam. So first position I might make like this. Second position I'm definitely going to carry it all the way back down. Right, so second position, very much like this. Does that look good? And you notice that if it goes up like that, you definitely want to have that hang. So I'm going to carry this down a bit more. Just little minor tweaks actually make the character come to life. Just little minor tweaks. So bam. And if it's going to be sticking right there, it starts coming back down. Then you can have these arms come back up. Right, like so. Like this. Almost like it's doing a bit of water bending. Right, Renee?
Definitely.
And that subtle movement right there. A little subtle movement right here. And just have him do a thing. Very gently coming back down. You know. Just gently. Very gently. And then I'll have him pose back at initial first position there with the arms. So copy that keyframe. Select that. Paste that. Same thing for this one. Just click on that keyframe, copy it, Control C, Control V. Voila. And if you play this, I'm gonna play up to frame 20, what is 23, right? So I'll just pull this back. So it tells you start, you stop. Mine says 140, was 23. It's gonna just repeat for me if I have that on. And this might be, I mean, looking at it frame by frame might look good, but when you play it back, you actually get to see what needs to be tweaked. And I feel like this part here probably needs a bit of tweaking, maybe a little bit of more of this. Yes.
How can you adjust the timing for these animations?
Oh, excellent question. So because everything is done based on your keyframes, what it really means is that you have to just move your keyframes. So for example, this might seem a bit fast and you want to be slow, right? So let's assume you want it to be slow. What you'd have to do, unfortunately Maya isn't. Maya does, alright. So there's some software that actually allows you to scale your animation. Unfortunately, this isn't one of them. So what you do is have to click on your keyframe, click on another keyframe. So you have those two keyframes and you can actually pull them. And you have to kind of just highlight all the keyframes for that particular time and pull them. Alright, so for example here, you might decide to pull here. These you might say, okay, I need a little bit of space between each of them. Click on them, click on them. But when you see some keyframes lining up, you want to get all those keyframes and you pull them. Because in all those keyframes, the timing is the same. Right? So, okay, now you see some weird stuff happening. Let's fix that. All right. And this is why it's important to also make sure that your keys, wherever keyframes can be dropped, you just drop them there. So for example, here to here, fine. That's cool. All keyframes are fine here. Now you have some parts where it looks like this. Get them keyframes in there. Where's my left leg? I think my left leg forgot some keyframes. So here's some little imbalances here because for these keyframes, I missed them out when I was pulling them. Notice? So that looks like it's slower. Oh, one more thing. And this will help you for when you're doing 3D as well, eventually. When you're animating, just make sure that whenever there's keyframes involved somewhere, just drop in some keyframes. That way you get the timing for that particular movement. So you can actually pull that, this, this at the right timing. And you just have to time it up until you get something that looks like it would work. Right. So keyframes to keyframes. Right, see, I didn't forget them all this time. So highlight all these keyframes. Right, so I'll just pull this up so I can see all of them at once. And just shuffle them over. So all these keyframes, just have to retime them like so. Just move them across. Same thing for here. I see keyframes lining up here. I'm going to set keyframes for that entire column. So that when I move, everything moves. So everything is timed properly. Right, so I might actually need to move over some more keyframes. So what do? I know all these are okay so far. So I'm gonna move these keyframes a little bit further down. Right? So here needs keyframes. Right? So F6, 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 F6. And just take the whole lot of them. Pull them over. Put some timing in between them. Same thing for these. Pull these over. Give them some space. So keyframe here, keyframe there. We see some keyframes here. So I'll have to set keyframes for that so the whole row just matches up. And the reason why we have to do this is because if you don't, what's going to happen? The thing about tweening is that your computer tries to fill in the space as it assumes it's supposed to go. So, for example, you notice that this snaps because the timing is a little bit wonky, and because also I'll just go in there and do this. Let's look at that leg. That ain't right. So I'll come back for that. Um, but everything else about this side is almost right. Almost. That means we're just gonna have to tweak stuff. It's like a magic man now. Looks wonky, doesn't it, Renee? Very much so. But for me, for I guess for best practice, before you even start retiming anything, what you want to make sure that you're doing is that you save first before you do anything, because sometimes it might come out worse than you intended, and then it's like, oh no, I've messed up horribly. So here, that and the thighs need to come down some more because of the timing. Same thing for this thigh here. And the face will go up some more. Well, well, well.
So I guess it's best to like adjust the timing while creating the frames.
Yes.
And
But what was your leg thingy about? You said things went wonky. If you send me the file, I can actually address it now. Because maybe some other people are having the same issues.
yeah, I was trying to what I was doing is trying to move the right leg and
Yeah.
the left.
Left leg kept going all wonky. That was the
Yeah,
same error I
yeah,
think I had from before.
yeah. I was trying to move that first, and then after, like, I was putting the leg out and the arm up
Okay.
and back down. But while I was trying to do the other side and creating those frames, I realized that um it's moving at the same time, like the right and the left side
Oh.
move at the time instead of at separate time, like after the leg and the arm goes down for the leg.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the right hand's supposed to go up after, but
It's going at the same time.
yeah.
It might be a keyframing thing. You want to send me the file?
Alright,
Or anything, whatever. After the session, I can actually just team viewer you so I can see what's up
no, okay.
and control the thing. If anybody else is having issues, just let me know. See if I can help you sort that out so you can get a better understanding of it. So, bam, this comes back down. Alright, so this part now have an issue because we don't want that bend. We want this to happen. Let's play now. Alright, so the change is the reason why it's bouncing like that is because our time says stop at 23. So if it stops at 23, we need to go now at this is frame 47. Hit 47, press play, and now you can actually get this guy to move more like a dancer. So that timing looks a little better. Oh, one more thing. We can take off the transparency. Voila. So that's how Leafy works now. He's doing a little plie or something. I don't know. Tell me if I'm wrong. Oh, there's a dancer in the crowd out there.
Yeah, that's not a play.
Well, I didn't do dance for very long, so yeah.
So Jake, how long do you want this animation?
Is my brother out there? Let me ask him. I don't think he wanted more than, like, for example, 5 seconds or something. 5 to 7 seconds, I think. What is this? Personal meeting. Okay. Let me call him. Hey, hotline. Hi. Question. How long you want the Leafy rig or any other rig animations to be?
When?
How long? How long? About how much seconds again?
3 to 5.
3 to 5 seconds. Okay. So 3 to 5 seconds of decent quality animation, guys.
Yeah, a walk cycle.
You can make it a walk, some
A run toward jump, dancing, something.
So anything that's a cycle. So as long as it loops, it's good, and it looks good,
And it isn't just basic.
and isn't just basic. So you can do a run, a walk, a jump. You can even be as ambitious as trying to get that whole lightning thingy or the stick hitting the face thing. All right. But the most important thing is understanding how the rig works and how rigging works, or how to get the animation, technical animation side of it. Because I know normally you would actually just draw it, but kind of want to get an understanding of how to technically animate something based on a rig.
It's going to help them in 3D later.
It's definitely going to help you in 3D later. Okay. Any other questions? All right, we want to address that second assignment. Let me pull it up.
Wait.
All right, go ahead, Renee.
When is this?
When is it due? We're giving them to the end of the semester or what? To hand in everything. End of the semester. So by week 13, 14.
What's that, 3 weeks from now?
3 or 4 weeks from now. Everything else. Sounds doable?
Just confirm with them everybody
Confirm what?
assessment is.
Oh, right. I'll do that. All right, thanks. So by the end of the semester, actually, everything is going to be due. So that includes the case study and your backgrounds. This animation for the leaf thing, right? And remember, any other thing that you think you can get graded with, like if you've done your own animation on the side and you feel like this could be a part of it, we will. I mean, I'm willing to grade that stuff too, as long as it doesn't come from your other schoolwork. So no overlapping. All right, so just a point to note. So I guess some of you might have had questions about the assignment that said to create the background and the foreground. I mean, sorry, not background, foreground. Create a layout in black and white. No, sorry. Wow, in day version and a night version. Yes.
A day and night?
Yes. So let me just bring up the assignment so you can actually see it. I think I should have it here. Assignment. Let's see. if you can see my screen. Oh, is this thing working? No? Oh, okay. All right, let me bring up the assignment list on the interwebs. So that's the rig. If I'm not mistaken, and call that students. Um, hmm. Tools tool. Ooh, somebody uploaded something today. Cool. So the assignment list says, all right, some people creating case study twice. All right, so in the assignment list, let's just open that real quick. Let's look at that. All right, so exercises, such and such and such. So you have the waterfall, particle and stuff. We did wave principle, things like those. That's going to be ongoing 20%. All right, so you have your individual assignment, which would be you can create a background, camera movement, character action, special effects. So here's the first part. It says create a background, right? So here we are. Oh, it wasn't supposed to be day and night version. Sorry. Right. So first part says layout. So you actually create so think of it like you're creating an animation. And actually, this website that I had given an example of in this example provides a lovely little example. Actually, it's opening right now. Essentially, creating a background where you can do a camera action on the background and have a character or character movement or action in the background, right? So example, it says, one, you can gather references and draw inspiration from, maybe real life or other works, imaginative composition, save everything, every drawing, every sketch, every concept, and consider how your camera will move along the layout. It may pan or zoom or tilt, and this is to make provision for the character moving in the background. So your movement for the camera is just for your character to be moving in the background. So your character could be a bird flying through, something walking, maybe a snake, a shadowy figure, something moving throughout the background. So that's one, the way you design your background. Um, so these are some things to make note of, layout such background. You can use any software you want. Layout should be like a rough layout. So if you notice that the time is kind of winding, we have like 3 weeks or so left. Don't aim for like this massively complex background. And I don't want to say don't aim for that. If you can manage it, great. But the thing about the layout is that you're going to be doing a painting, so it's going to be cleaned up and painted, polished the final background. You're going to retweak the background to make varying color schemes. And I'm going to show you how to do that in a little bit. The varying color schemes, essentially, and I'll also link a video as well to show you how that works. Include foreground elements as well as background. And what my brother and I were suggesting, we were talking about it today, is that because we see how the time is, and I know for some of you, when you were doing your background for like the wave principle and your waterfall, you created some really good backgrounds. So the idea we're thinking of is rather than having you create a new background altogether, if it is at all possible, that you just tweak the ones that you've had so far and just change the color scheme. So for example, if you created a night looking scene, you try to create or recolor it so it looks like morning rather than actually doing over an entire background again. Now this is up to you. You have the option of just tweaking what you had done before. So if you had a day, you make a night version. If you had a night version, make a day version, right? And the dimension of the background should be 1080p camera with the consideration of movement. So there's that. So here's an example of one, and I'm going to show you that one. That one looks nice. Essentially, here's how they did theirs, and I'm just going to go down some. Except here we go. So this person did a thing where they had a person throw a ball, the dog runs across, jumps and splashes, and they designed a little character, cute little character person thing, and got some examples of how the layouts would be, and all these little trees and stuff. And they just designed a nice little layout with different color schemes, how the colors would look. And they also played around with props and effects like the stick and the splash. And here's how the rough layout looked. So part of the background, part of the background, part of the background. Afterwards, they have the character that's doing that. Unfortunately, Flash Player is blocked. I wish I could show you this. How do I unhide this plugin? I'm going to see if I can find the finished animation for this. But essentially what happens is that person throws a stick and then the camera pans through the background and leaves the dog splashing in the water.
Stick.
Yes,
What do you mean that the camera pans?
lovely. And I have a video on that too, but I'm going to carry you through one now. Ready? Alright, so let's create a really rough background. So we can do this one of two ways. If you're okay or comfortable with Harmony, I'm going to show you how to do it in Harmony, and I'm also going to show you how to do it in TV Paint as well. Is that fair?
Well, we don't have TV paint. Well, I don't have TV.
Alright, cool, that's fine. So if it's not TV Paint, then Toon Boom. So I'm going to show you both ways, just so you have it in your head. Right? How do we get camera movement? Alright, so I'm going to quickly mock up some background. So I'm going to stop recording my recording right here. Right, and then I'm going to start another recording for the whole background thing. Okay?
Oh, say you make the background in like Photoshop or something.
Yeah, you can. You can even make the background in TV Paint as well. I mean, Toon Boom. I keep saying things differently. So any way you want to make the background, that's up to you. So I'm going to make a really rough background. It's not going to be like a finished, polished background. I'll make a quick mock-up in Photoshop then. Cool? Alright, let's do that. Photoshop, Krita, anything. Actually, the software that you make it in doesn't really matter. Like the assignment said. So I'm going to stop this recording, not the session, but the recording. So there's that. Alright, let's me make up a quick mock-up of a background. I like Krita, so I'm going to use Krita. I can also use Photoshop, it doesn't really matter. I guess because everybody's used to Photoshop, I'll just use that. If you like Krita, then that's great too. Oof. Alright, so one of the things you need to know the concept of, for example, if you're going to be doing any movement, the idea you need to know of is multiplaning. Just so we can get a clear understanding of what that means. I would think we did it last year in Tools 1. Not sure if the concept was kind of brought across too well, but here's an example of multiplaning. This is a nice little one. Very short, simple one. Right? The idea behind multiplaning is that some elements are going to be moving faster than the other ones. So if you look through, the background's moving slower than the... Wow, that was so short. Let me try that again. Multiplaning. This one's even shorter. How nice. So here we see the background and the foreground moving at different... Alright, you know what? Alright, different speeds. So I'm going to do that in Toon Boom. So let me save this. And I've saved it already before, so...
You're going to record that, right?
Yeah, I'm going to record what I'm doing.
What was that?
I will be recording what I'm doing.
Okay.
Cool. So let me... So I have Photoshop open.